Hey everybody, my name's Grover. We're doing a first ever interview here with the punk power group Sour, our friends Sophia and Aleyah. I'm going to let them do their own intros, but I want to just start off and say thanks to everybody who's watching. Here we go. Thanks to everybody who's watching. Thanks to everybody who will watch in the future and are watching now if you're watching it. This is really important to do, especially now when there's no way to talk to anybody and we're all stuck in our house, and it seems like everything's created out of nothing nowadays. So we don't get to see the behind the scenes workings of punk or of art anymore. It's all kind of hidden away. So I think this is cool. But I wanted to go ahead and let you guys do a little intro, say hello, and a little bit about yourself, if that's cool. If you want to start us off, Sophie, since you're the boss.
Hi, I'm Sophia, and I am the frontman of Sour and have been for the last 10 years. I live in Colorado, very far away from the rest of my band. And yeah, I did vocals and wrote most of the songs on the album.
Yeah.
I am Aleyah. I am the back lead man, the back burner lead man. And I write some songs here and there. I kind of play whatever, well, right now with our process with only 2 people, I play whatever Sophia needs me to play, but I've mainly been the bassist for Sour and backing vocalist for the past 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
It's Sophia and that we're like, this is the deal.
Yeah, awesome.
You got the voice, I got the attitude. Let's go.
I mean, 10 years is a long time for a band, or even like a lot of friendships, or how is have you guys been friends longer than 10 years? You guys are pretty long lasting friends.
No, we basically met, and on Xbox Live that same year, I was like, I had just gotten out of another band that nobody really wanted to play anything in. And I was like, I'm really looking for, Ugly Nelson. I was really hoping that somebody would want to meet up with me and actually start a band. And I had met Aleyah, and we had the same music taste. And literally, I think 3 weeks after I met her, I was like, do you play guitar? Do you want to be in a band with me? And it was just us at the start. And it was us for a long time.
Yeah.
How many good friendships start on Xbox Live? You go,
Most
the first time, the moment she told me I was adopted in that Modern Warfare 2 lobby, I knew it was for us.
Honestly, why?
It's like we'd look at each other in school and not say a word to each other, and then we'd get on Xbox Live and be like, so 5 years ago this traumatic thing happened, and then really, so we should start a band.
Yeah, it was basically Sophia told me they liked my red plaid pants in 8th grade, and I was like,
your Abby Dawn outfit.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I like Sum 41 and Dead Kennedys. I could be in a band. And but actually at first, whenever they asked me if I could play guitar, I was like, yes, but not well for a lead guitar. Because that's what I was assuming they would want from me. But then I took all this money I was saving for a computer and bought a bass at the local music store in Gulf Breeze, and it's been my bass ever since.
Oh yeah.
And I taught myself bass, and I was like, we're gonna do this. And we for some reason thought we could audition for the talent show with just guitar and bass.
Nice.
In middle school, and of course it didn't work out, but they told Sophia to play Hotel California.
They said that if I came back alone, that they would have given me a spot in the talent show, and I told them to go fuck themselves, and I wasn't leaving Aleyah, and I didn't play the talent show.
In fact, you
That's a strong
talent show because of grades.
Well, they ended up kicking me out. You failed math anyway.
It's a Gulf Breeze. Gosh, that's so. I mean, that's a pretty cool friendship, standing up. I mean, going through talent shows together in middle school. How would you say that that making this new album, Do You Want to Come Over, how has this helped to rekindle your friendship or help to maintain it?
I feel like
Whoever.
we've never stopped being friends. Like ever since Sour broke up, we were still like even Cynthia, we're all in a group chat together and we were pretty active in it. But I think it's just like Sophia and I get each other so well musically when we write and when we make a song. Literally anything that we do, if it was Sour or Deadbeats, which is our dead name, and then before that Bismuth, like literally we've had so many band names because we've been trying to start a band for so long. But like we've just always understood each other. So I think it's just kind of rekindling that creative energy again. And it's just been really, really fun, really nice.
I think like what I realized through recording Do You Want to Come Over about our friendship is that like I like don't think I can ever not be in a band with Aleyah again. Like I think that like, you know, I can have like side projects and stuff, but I think I'm always gonna have to have Sour. Like I think Aleyah feels the same way. It's like I think I would just drop dead if we were not in a band together.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna always have coming and going members, and we have a lot of people in mind even for upcoming members, but like it's always Sophia and I to the core, and it always has been, and I want to continue doing Sour. I did my pro wrestling thing and I'm tired of hurting my neck, so
You're sticking your neck out there for the Atlanta wrestlers, and they were doing their thing on it, man.
Yeah, it's just I'll do it later. Music needs to come now, basically, is how I'm feeling though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't get to choose when inspiration hits, you know, it just be hitting, as they say. But as you're talking about like these different iterations of Sour, I wanted to ask, like, how do you think the new Sour is different than the old Sour as far as attitude or as purpose, mission statement, or is it all the same and it's just a growing thing?
I feel like our sound has never changed, honestly.
Yeah, I think
I'm a real boy.
Like we've gotten better is maybe a good way to put it. It's like I think when we started Sour, maybe we were a little bit confused about the direction that we wanted to take it. Like we knew that it was going to be punk. We just didn't know like how punk. And like I think I was still kind of, because it was like, you know, late middle school, I was still sort of in a singer-songwriter type phase. So a lot of my songs came from that. And it was like figuring out like what's going to have to stay more singer-songwriter and what's going to be able to be turned into like a full band. In the beginning, I think we weren't as willing to take no for an answer with a lot of those songs. And so they turned out kind of funky. Whereas now I think we've matured a lot and we've been playing for a lot longer. And I think we know more so what we're looking for. Yeah. But we're the same band.
Yeah, I don't think anything sound-wise has changed. A lot of songs that you'll probably hear within the next things that we release, and even some of our old stuff, like from Death on Jefferson Street, was written way, way long ago. Like even before we were in high school. Like half of our songs come from Sophia's random notebook from I don't know, when you were like 7.
Yeah.
And we're just like, okay, this part right here, you can tell you're a kid, but like let's just change
like,
this part.
Maybe it's like dummy. It's like, you know, in the song I think I even say I'm not gonna graduate, and I have graduated high school.
Right.
I've been graduated for a second. Plot twist, I did graduate.
I know.
But it is like funny to hear that back and be like, damn, yeah, this is an old song.
Yeah. And I think like even we're probably going to re-record some old Deadbeat songs from that really horrendous album that we released as, you know, 15-year-olds, and and redo a lot of the songs. But a lot of those songs are like nicely written. It's just the musical aspect. We didn't know what we were doing. So
yeah.
But I think it's just like our sound hasn't really changed. It's always been our sound, whatever that means. And I feel like we've always wanted to do like melody driven punk because that's what we love listening to, and just kind of creating that sound that we want to hear and have that attitude that we want to see and just do it. So
hell yeah. And you talk about Death on Jefferson Street, which came out in like 2016. And you were like one of the only femme punk bands here in Pensacola, like female punk or just bands that wasn't all white dudes, you know? What is that like in a city, or why is that important? What does that mean to you guys to be like a femme band amongst men?
It is weird because I actually recently had an interaction with somebody where I was talking about Sour and back when like we all lived in Pensacola and all that, like first gen Sour. And how they were like, yeah, I mean, I didn't know you personally, but I would go to a lot of your shows just because it was exciting to see somebody like me on stage, like somebody that has the same anger as me in a similar body. You know, it's like I feel like I never get to see that. And I guess I hadn't really thought about it that deep. Like I just knew that like this is what I wanted to do. But after hearing so many accounts of people, like femme people and queer people being like, you know, I like relate with you and I like see you and I see myself, like it's really powerful. And I think every scene needs a lot more of that, including the Pensacola scene. Like I think there's still a lack of that. Like I mean, we have more than we used to, but like there's never a capping point where it's like there's too many. Like we could always have more. I think everybody needs to get out there and start a band, like at least once. Like just go for it.
I think it kind of spoke for itself, honestly. When we were at that age and doing that band, I think it was like the amount of people, like, first of all, the amount of people who just didn't like us for no reason. You know, aside from us being, I mean, it's a punk band, so if we sound bad, we sound bad. It doesn't matter. But, you know, but like just not liking us, and usually they were men, and just having something against us, that spoke for itself. You knew exactly what that meant. And
grown ass men.
Hating teenagers. Anytime people had a vendetta against us, I would feel so bad back then. But like now I look back at it, I was like, we were kids. But another thing that speaks for itself is the amount of times we would like sell out a place like Sluggos and like reach max capacity. There was a reason for that, because people wanted that. And I don't think it's something that we realized at first. We were just like, we love the Runaways, we want to be like that. And then you know, we kind of did it for ourselves more than doing it for like, this is what people need. We were just like, we want to do it because we want to do it. And then we realized how much people needed that. So I think it, you know, spoke for itself in a way.
Yeah, Pensacola did need it, and I think it needs it now too. I mean, I think it'll always need it. Like you said, there's no cap on femme bands or queer bands or anything like that, and especially here, we're in need of them. Once everything's back to normal and we see all the bands spring back up like little flowers in the snow. But I wanted to switch from talking about the old days and talk a little bit about this new album that you just released, because I listen to it on the daily and I make everyone in the house listen to it, which they're probably sick of it. But that's cool. But I wanted to ask, since there are two of you, how did you guys split up the instruments in this album? Who played what, and how did you go about delegating that?
So
whoever wants to go.
So basically at first, because with Blue Blood, whenever we did that, I did the drums for that, and I redid guitars and bass, and basically Sophia did the vocals. And after doing all that, I was like, hey, Sophia, if we release an album, I'm going to need you to help me with drums. And because majority of the songs were Sophia's like written songs, we were like, it'd probably be best if you just did drums so we can make this happen as fast as possible. And so, of course, Sophia did guitar, vocals, and then drums, and then I did bass, and then some extra guitar work. And then, of course, in Crash, I did the vocals for that. And Moldy Meltdown, if you listen closely, I do a backing vocal in that. But that's basically it for that. And it started out with Sophia coming to Atlanta, actually. We did it safely. But a house I was staying at had a drum set, and we were like, let's use it. And a really cool band here in Atlanta called Silver Lake Waves let us use their drum set. And so we recorded all the drums on that. The whole initial album, which was originally 10 songs, you'll hear the other ones one day, but we just recorded everything, like bass, guitar, vocals, drums, in less than a week. And took promo photos of us as vampires and did the album cover all in less than a week. And then, of course, through production, things had to be re-recorded. So Sophia re-recorded like vocals in their car on breaks at Starbucks. And I just kind of wrapped things together, anything guitar or bass related, because I didn't have a drum set anymore. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Anything was just done here in Atlanta, just off the whim, and with a Rock Band mic, which is what I'm using right now. So it's as DIY as it gets, with a budget of $0.
That's fucking awesome.
So didn't mean to control that, Sophia. Add
It's
whatever.
No, that was awesome.
It's
That was
good.
a roller coaster from the start to finish. I was like, holy shit. In
It was a
parking
really
lot?
chaotic process. Like I would get there, like I arrived, I think we had like 5 days. And I would like grab like an orange and a Propel water, and I would head over to the house with the drum set, and I would just drum for like hours, like just getting as many songs done as we possibly could in the short amount of time that we had. We'd get like 3 songs done a day or something like that. Like Aleyah said, we used to have 10 songs, 2 of them didn't really work out, but like the ones that passed at least were those 8 songs, and it was really tough. 2 of them I didn't know the drums for when I arrived, Crash and Trapeze. We didn't even plan on putting Trapeze on the album. I like got there and I was like, oh, by the way, I have this song that you might like. And I had
Such a good one though.
Thank you. And I had never same thing with Crash. Like I had heard the song a bunch of times, but I didn't know what the drums were supposed to sound like. And I wouldn't really consider myself a drummer. But we got it done.
It's like Sophia and I are both like, we can drum to make a song and like we can release that song, and then as far as technology goes, there's so many good options. We just had no money, so there's so many, like, get good drums, you can get that. Anyone who wants to make an album, invest in that, and you can make pretty sick drum beats. But we had no money. The only thing I put money into was plugins for random guitar parts, and that was about it. And that was my first time mastering and mixing an album. So like, it is what it is. I'm not going to pretend like it's perfect and great sound quality, but like it is what it is. And I think it's really important about the actual songs themselves and how good they are, and not the production quality.
Yeah, I would hate it if it was perfect sound quality. I think it would be a worse album, because you would be turning a scrapbook or an audio version of a zine. I would say this is, and you'd be trying to polish it and turn it into a textbook or something boring and clean like that. I think you're doing it the most DIY way, and you can't be afraid of that. That has the merit of its own, and it shows. But there's a lot of really good mastering, and there's like keys on the album as well, it sounds like. There's sound effects and demonic laughing and all of that. How'd you go about putting all that together?
So the organ sound in Trapeze is actually a guitar pedal that I also borrowed from Silver Lake Waves. It was this guitarist named Ryan. He has all these pedals, like he's kind of a gearhead, and I was like, what does this do? And he was like, oh, all this cool stuff. And I was like, and then he showed me how it can sound like an organ. He was like, yeah, but you wouldn't. And I was like, oh no, I want that. I want this organ sound. And basically I was like, Sophia, we have to use this in a song. I don't know what. We have to use this. This sounds so cool. So it's really just a guitar with like this pedal on it that isn't even supposed to be an organ sound. It's just if you put it on a setting, it sounds like an organ. And then everything else is just kind of a guitar and just putting plugins on guitars, some chorus pedals. And but for the demonic laughing, I was just messing around with like some, what was it? It was like some vocal plugin, or I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 different plugins. And I was like, this sounds like that weird filter that's on like, that makes your voice sound shaky. And it would be funny if I put that in there. And then I did. I did it. So
it's like the Eric Andre meme where he's like, wow, how could you do something so bold yet so controversial? That's you right now.
I don't know. I thought it'd be fun. And then like, it seems like a lot of people like that part, and I'm like, cool. It was a gag. it was just supposed to be funny. It was just supposed to be a joke between Sophia and I. And then people were like, no, this is good. This is artistic. And I'm like, okay. So a lot of the things in the album are just kind of like all very much me trying my best with what I have, and a lot of it is Sophia and I emailing each other back and forth like, do you think this sounds good? And sometimes you need an extra set of ears because you've been listening to a song for 3 hours straight and you don't even realize it's offbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Totally. I've been there, and your ears get fried, and you're like, I don't know what it should sound like anymore. Exactly. And it's crazy to think about you two creating together, so far apart in Colorado and in Atlanta, and also practicing together. How do you guys go about like songwriting and then sharing and developing that idea? If you want to start, Sophie.
The recording app on my phone is like full. Like we're in the thousands right now. Like it's really full. And I'll just I'll wait until like I find something that's like really good, like a take that I'm like, okay, this like at least like lays out how the song is supposed to sound, and we'll email it to each other. So like if Aleyah has a song that she thinks that I would like, she'll email it to me and I'll email it to her. And then like the next time that we meet up, we'll have like parts ready to be like, okay, so I had this idea for this. How do you think this sounds? And then that's how we practice. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Aleyah and I are like connected in some sort of way, because when we got there for recording the album, we hadn't practiced together or anything. We just knew what the song sounded like and we had our parts. And when we met up, we were like, okay, how does this sound? Sounds good. Perfect. Let's record it. And I think like it's sort of the same way when like we have songs that are like, we're ready to go. It's like, okay, I'm just going to write my part for this, and then we'll meet up and we'll work it out.
Yeah, it's like we would basically like right before Sophia came here to record part of the album, it was like just us sending emails back and forth. Like Sophia, of course, had a ton of song options, and a lot of them I asked them, I was like, hey, can we do this Team Non-Existent song? Because, obviously some of that stuff is so good. And I would like, this would be a killer sour song. Like Choke would be a killer sour song. I have all these ideas, but just come here and we can work it out. And then so it's kind of like how it's always been, is kind of been like Sophia comes with a really good song, and then I'm like, okay, now let's add this, and this, and then we have a really good song. Like it was already a really good song, but then we take it to that next level. And I think it's just that we're just connected. We just get each other and we play off of that. We both bring something to the table. So but yeah, like I'm just now becoming a better songwriter because I was so insecure for so long about it. So whenever I was wrestling, I was often writing songs, and then I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Oh well. And now those songs are finally coming to a surface. Like I wrote Crash, and that was it for this album. 2 other songs that I had originally written didn't make it, just to technical issues. Like things weren't, apparently like the mic wasn't on and stuff like that, and we couldn't re-record it. But yeah, it's a hard process, but it's a fun process, and most of the time we don't really need to practice, which is just because we know our part.
I mean, as much as we would love to, but like
yeah. It's just, I ask Sophia about certain keys and just like, where are you on the guitar with this? And they're like, oh, here. And I was like, okay, I got it. And then I write the bass part.
Yeah, that's awesome. Heck yeah. And I was also going to ask, because you guys put out some super cool merch for Blue Blood, and y'all are putting out the stickers, and y'all are doing a bunch of stuff for fundraising. Y'all are doing to benefit a GoFundMe. You constantly share things on the official Sour pages about people in need or people of color who need help. And it's just like this tremendous community connection. I was going to ask, what do you guys see as a connection between the art you make and the community as a whole, or people in need, whatever?
I think Sour has always been involved with the community, and it's always going to be something important to us. Most of our shows were always fundraisers, which we did not mind. We were like, hell yeah, we get to help people and we get to play. That's so fun. And then like I think especially with Blue Blood, it's just that although it's been a song that was written so long ago.
Yeah. I wrote it in like 2016 or something. Like it was supposed to be a sour song, and then I released it as a Team Non-Existent song, and then it became a sour song again.
Yeah. And there was also that project we were doing for a little bit before I moved to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called, but we were going to do Blue Blood for that. And so it was just kind of like, it's been an old song, but whenever we started being like, oh, we should be in a band together again, and you know, everything was happening with Black Lives Matter and all the police brutality stuff being really pushed to the front, which it's always been a problem, but it's just everyone was talking about it. And I felt like if we were going to release a song like that, we have to, you know, actually donate funds to people who are actually marginalized.
Yeah, we need to take our platform, that we are so lucky to have, and use it for good. And especially if we are on the topic like of like police brutality, and this song is directly, you know, about the police, like what is a better time to do that? Like that is, you know, it's ideal.
And it's probably better to always give the funds to people who are actually like in trouble with the police and that type of stuff. Cause like, you know, not saying Sophia and I haven't had our troubles, but like we're obviously not the targets in those situations when it comes to police brutality. So it just felt right to donate part of that. And, you know, we're not really making that much money anyway. We're not a big band. And so it just felt like, yeah, I guess we could for sure give them some of that.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And I mean, to even enhance the community aspect, you guys like had somebody else help to create the music video for Blue Blood. It's like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Who helped to create that?
I have a friend here in Atlanta. Their name is Sid, and Sid is just like really good about everything film, and like just I think like they're gonna be like a great like director, writer person someday. So I was like, great. But they have a good eye for music video things, and I know they play a lot of Sims, and I was like, do you think you could do this? And I think I showed them like like, you know, like the early or like mid 2000s, like YouTube, like Sims music videos that people would make, like tribute videos. I showed them a My Chemical Romance when I was like, what if we did something like this? And they were like, it's going to take a while, but I'll do it. And because it's a lot of hard work, you know, setting up Sims and making them do stuff. So it was kind of like a hit of nostalgia for Sophia and I, and hopefully some of our audience, of like that weird Sims culture. And, you know, also, obviously we can't be in the same place at the same time, at least not a lot. And
not very often.
You know, obviously. So it just made sense to make something cheeky like that, like a Sims type thing. And I think it's just us. It's just very us and in our nature to make a Sims music video.
I think it's really fucking cool. And I love when artists, I mean, it's cool to be the one in everything and create the music and the video and the this and the that. But when you pull multiple artists together, it like sends a different message, you know, just the medium that you choose or that they choose to pair with you. It's like a level of interpretation beyond your own. And I think that's really cool that you guys chose to do that. But to pull it back a little more, if I could, since I'm still here in old Pensacola, I was gonna ask, what does Pensacola mean to you guys individually? I know it can be good or bad, or it could be nothing at all, because, you know, Pensacola is nothing to a lot of people, but I just wanted to ask, what do you guys think about Pensacola? How's it doing? How's it compared to where you are now?
I mean, I miss it. I'm going to be real. I don't know, whenever I moved to Atlanta, it was a bit manic, to say the least. I was going through a lot, and I'm a bit of a destination addict. So I'm like, when I move, everything's going to change. And I had so many ideas of what I thought I knew and what I thought. And, you know, for the longest time, we always we're like, when we get out of this town, man, it's going to change. It doesn't. But I mean, like, I will say Atlanta has wonderful opportunities, but and it has great things here, but I do miss it. I've realized I'm not much of a big city person. I like smaller areas. So if y'all see me back in Pensacola, no, you didn't. But yeah, Pensacola though, it's meant a lot to me, but it took me leaving for it to really hit how much it meant to me. Unfortunately, it took me, like, being there, you don't really realize what a community it is until you go somewhere else and you're like, wow, we kind of had some shit together compared to some of these bigger places, when it comes to community and actually trying to fight for people's like rights and equality. Like there's just so much I think Pensacola has that a lot of places don't. And not just saying that because like they have a beach, but like because a lot of places don't have beaches. It's so crazy. No, but yeah, I think it's like community and like just how tight knit and like how many things are connected to Pensacola is crazy. I did not realize that until I started watching just so many random documentaries and movies. People be saying like, yeah, Pensacola, that was the best place to party. And you're like, what? So it's, I think me leaving, it gave me a lot of perspective of how nice it was there for me. But it's just because I think I'm not much of a big city person. So I want to be somewhere smaller and I guess just like know everyone. It's just a good community. I don't know. I keep rambling, but it's just, it was a good experience to grow up in is what I'm trying to say.
Beautiful community, man. I think especially like in its in the high peak, it was beautiful. What about you?
I think I moved to Pensacola at I moved to Florida at a really weird point in my life. It was supposed to be a safe haven, and I think that it was somewhere between like a safe haven and an absolute fucking nightmare. And I think that it is the one place that I could probably call home, which is weird. Like I always felt like I really didn't have a home, and then and I literally didn't when I moved to Pensacola. But I guess it did kind of become that. I mean, by default, or whether it was my choice or what, it became a lot of a home to me. And I didn't think it was very important to me until, I knew it was important, but I guess I didn't realize how much it lived in my subconscious until I left. And then it's like everything around me, I'm like kind of comparing to Pensacola, and like to so many other people, they have no idea where that is. I have to like hold up my hand and I'm like, okay, so this is the rest of Florida and this is the Panhandle and that's where Pensacola is. So that's Disney World and there's that. So they're nowhere near each other because they always ask. It's just so funny that like to so many other people, it's nowhere, it's not right next to Disney World, so it doesn't really matter. Whereas like to me, it is like I think like a rush of memories go by. It's like middle school, high school, being like seeing a lot of death and seeing a lot of love and happiness and going to shows, losing friends, and it's like I guess it literally did raise me like nowhere else did. And it's a weird feeling now that I'm gone, but I'm hoping to come back, whether it's sooner or later. I don't really care. I'd love to at least just be there more often, because I do kind of like moving around. I've never really stayed in one place for too long. But I at least want to be there as much as I can be, because the community, it's incredible. I mean, I've experienced other scenes now, and what we have is something really, really special. God, like, even you just doing this is so important for the scene to continue to be able to do things. Same thing with the live streams of shows and stuff like that. It's like, we are always taking dust and making it something so much greater. Like, it feels like that's just been the theme of Pensacola, is to take a carcass and make it into like art. Like at Sluggo's, even when we knew that place was dying, we were still gonna, party there as hard as we could and go as much as we could. We would, play shows out of houses, out of wherever our first show was at a bowling alley. Like, you know, we're always going to, it's DIY till you literally die. Like, and I think that that's something that is so special about Pensacola, and you won't find it really anywhere else. I've gone tons of other places, seen tons of other scenes, and there is just something so special about Pensacola.
Yeah, I think it's like, especially since Sophia and I moved there at such like a weird time in our lives, like middle school, it was just like really feeling like, why are we here? Like, this is so nasty. And then like once we started doing music and then being in the scene, we were like, okay, I get this. This works. This is like what we're supposed to be doing. It just felt right. And you just don't know what you have till it's gone. And
yeah, I'm not saying people shouldn't move out of their hometowns. Definitely do it. Like, everybody needs that experience. But
right.
Like, I think that there's just something really special about Pensacola as a place, because it's just such a weird, like, southern purgatory. I don't know. It's like it's this strange hellscape that I really appreciate.
Southern Purgatory is my metalcore band, actually.
Yeah, that's
who wants to start Southern Purgatory? I'm just saying.
I'll get it tattooed on my chest. I've been saving room. Southern Purgatory.
Actually, I'm really about that right here. Let's all get matching Southern Purgatory tattoos.
Sounds great.
We'll be girls raised in the Southern Purgatory.
Southern Belle, give them Purgatory.
I had a questions that people wrote in and asked if that's cool with y'all.
What? Okay.
I've almost kept you for a full hour, so I'm gonna try not to go over that.
Okay.
But one of the things I had, people wanted to know, what advice do you have for aspiring musicians or artists, people who are a little shy or have never done anything super well, or what advice do you have, Sophie?
Just do it. Literally just do it. It's hard and it's going to suck and you're going to fail a billion times. You're going to go through a bunch of weirdo drummers that are going to bring you into their garage and they're going to give you some of their parents' liquor. And then a bunch of the kids from your high school science class are going to come through the door, and it's going to be weird and it's going to be terrible. You're going to have an awful experience. All right. And that's going to happen a bunch of times with different guys that ride unicycles where they hate you, but their dad likes you. Like, just like the strangest experiences, but it's all going to be worth it because you have to go through so much trial and error as an artist. You're not going to succeed the first time. Your first painting, your first song isn't going to blow up and reach, national heights, and if you do, that's great. A lot of the time though, if you are lower income, it's not going to happen. Your production value might not be there. Your talent might not be there quite yet. Your writing style might not be there. Like, you just don't have the experience quite yet, and that's totally fine, but you have to get that experience to have that experience. So just do it. I know it's hard. You just got to do it.
Yeah, it's, not to sound super hustle culture-y, but yeah, it really is just kind of doing it, like picking up literally any instrument or just singing, or just writing, but it's, I don't know. It's actually Sophia aced it perfectly. That's exactly what.
I mean, it's like, when I got here, like I had very little luck finding a solid, like a steady project that I could do constantly. And I still like recorded every single instrument for Collateral Damage and put it out by myself because that was the kind of music that I wanted to make, even though nobody was there to make it with me. It was like, you just have to do it sometimes. It might be really, really hard, but it's going to be worth it when you at least like see it, especially like the day it comes out, whether it's the piece of art on your Instagram post and you get a bunch of comments or whatever, like you have to, it's like once it's complete and you see it and you start to build that discography or whatever, it's going to feel so rewarding. Like knowing that I have such an extensive discography because I just do it feels so much better than living in fear and being in my room and having released no music the entire time I've lived in Colorado.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like taking baby steps for babies, you gotta get out there and really start making it happen and do it yourself,
You have to throw the first piece of spaghetti at the wall to see that it won't stick. Eventually one's going to stick though.
Yeah.
We open out of spaghetti.
If it
Yeah.
doesn't stick, then your water is probably not on. Like the
Yeah.
current, it's probably not boiling. And then maybe you got to find that boiling point. you
It's
know?
like the fire, the passionate, not to be stereotypical, but like having the fire. All right, sorry.
I had another one. Somebody was asking, they wanted to know what has been y'all's favorite venue experience or show experience that you've played anywhere, or even that you're looking to play. Anything that pops to mind. Whoever wants to go.
Aleyah Shay, what's your favorite place
Oh,
or experience?
That's hard. Man.
I mean, I have one right now if you are thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Okay. I was going to say touring is the best thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, like, there's definitely been other shows. Like, the last Ladies Fest that we played was so sick. I think that might be, like, my favorite performance, even though Shizuko and us have some beef that we will not get into. That was a really incredible show. Like it felt, maybe it's just because we hadn't done it in so long, but like I feel like I just really put my whole balls and dick out there. I was spitting on blood on everybody and rolling around on the floor, and I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. But also the experience of tour was something that I could not replace for anything. It was so cool. Like, I mean, not to be like the epic highs and lows of high school football, but like even when we were like opening anchovies in a closed car, I was like, this is the best day of my life.
Yeah. I have to agree. I think like the last Ladies Fest show was probably one of my top favorite shows. There was also that one time where I did that cool bass thing. That one time, it's you know what I mean, Sophia?
Yeah, the cool one in Appetite. That was sick.
Cool bass thing. No, I think it was Fetus. There was a
oh, you're right. Yeah, there was a YouTube video.
Funky bass thing. So that one is up there. But no, it doesn't top Ladies Fest. But yeah, tour. I always be talking about tour. I'm like, that was so fun. There's just something rewarding and fun about it, and the highs and lows of high school touring.
I love like shitting on people and being like, oh, your wrist hurts. I played guitar on tour with a broken humerus. My elbow was off of my arm. It was gone, and I played guitar.
Honestly, Grover, you were there. Not all the shows were hits. Some of them were misses.
The first Alabama show.
And the last Alabama show. The first and last Alabama show was a bit tricky.
I've done 5 tours, and I think if I took the good shows from every tour, I could just make one tour. That's kind of how it's like a 1 out of 5 thing. Is you show up and they're like, people are playing tonight, and people start leaving because they're like, I just wanted to go get a drink at the bar, and now some teenagers are loading in. And there's 2 bands from Pensacola about to play.
It's like, where's Pensacola?
Maybe later. Yeah, that's awesome though. I can't. And you guys were in like high school, like senior year or junior year?
Senior year.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome, dude. Oh man. All right, and then I have one more question for you guys. And I'll let you do any plugs or anything. But I wanted to ask, or they wanted to ask the people, they wanted to know what's your favorite go-to guilty pleasure band or song, right? Your guilty pleasure song, they just what you're listening to, it can be a few things, it can be whatever you want, but whoever wants to go first.
There's so many. There's so many.
We'll have our guys in post just throw them up on screen as you name them.
Vocaloid.
Sophia's is a big Vocaloid fan. I
listen to a lot of Hatsune Miku.
I feel like Sophia and I both listen to an Avril Lavigne, but at this point in my life, I'm like, is that a guilty pleasure?
It's not a guilty pleasure.
No,
that's
good.
Real.
Avril Lavigne is good. She's not punk, but she's good.
Not her first album. Oh man.
Let go.
You know what? Nobody's Fool by Avril Lavigne is a guilty pleasure because that song sucks, but it is
bad.
but it is
It's so bad.
I know all the words to it.
But I mean,
What
maybe butt rock for me.
Yeah, any
Butt
like
rock?
new Christian rock or like butt rock or like a Seether or like anything like that where it's like I found this like iPod on my bus and it had like a radio downloaded on it and it was just like terrible. It was like Limp Bizkit and like 3 Days Grace and stuff like that. Like it was like just stuff that you would like punch a hole in your wall and your name is Kyle and you're drinking lots of Monster and you have a Cookie Monster snap back on and it's like that's the music. Like that's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, if it was on WWE SmackDown versus Raw, I listen to it. It's even though it's non-point or something like that, just like probably not a critically acclaimed band. There's just something in me that I'm like, ugh, it just hits for me deep down. And I think it's because when I was a kid, I was like, this is rock music.
Yeah.
This is so good.
Korn, you know, you're like, man, Korn, that dude beatboxing is fire. And then later on, you realize maybe it wasn't fire, or maybe it is fire, but it's just a little weird.
I mean, I talked about that like today. I was like, I can't believe Justin Timberlake is such a dickhead. He beatboxes. This is the
Gosh. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, I would say, I guess final answer would probably be like butt rock for me or something. I don't know. I feel like guilty pleasures is such a passe
anime theme openings.
Yeah, like music is music.
Nightcore.
One song
country rap.
Country.
Oh no, don't go there. Country
boys
rap.
round here.
Country girl, shake it for me.
But you know, and I mean like maybe some shitty country too. I kind of like some Toby Keith.
Country pop. I feel like just because we lived in the South for so long, like I like it's in my blood. Like I can't escape it.
Like Who's Your Daddy by Toby Keith? Oh, that's go-to karaoke song. That's it's
hey, karaoke. What other song are you gonna do?
We always do Love Shack.
Love Shack. One of us usually does Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit usually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry.
Yes, I do Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry, which is
you do Mother by Danzig.
Mother by Danzig is another go-to for me.
Yeah. You always have me do Alicia Keys. What's that fucking name of the song? If I Ain't Got You.
Well, it's because you fucking rock at it. I mean, and then everyone who's there is like, whoa, that's so crazy. And then you're like, okay, yeah, listen to Sour.
That's so funny. Whenever we do karaoke again, whenever the plague's gone, that'll be the shit, you know? Or maybe we'll do Zoom karaoke, which won't be as fun, but maybe it will be.
I think that sounds great.
Zoom karaoke.
Is there anything you guys wanted to plug as far as y'all's? I mean, we have Sour, the new album, but anything in the scenes where you're at, or anything you specifically want to talk about before we say goodbye? Whoever wants to start.
Yes.
I'm trying to be.
I'm so sorry.
I'm trying to smile, but I'm like laughing so hard I can't.
Yes. So we maybe Aleyah and I may actually be getting our wish and coming down to Pensacola soon.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Pensacola?
Yeah, down to this part of Florida.
The thumb of Florida, another tattoo.
Yeah, that one, you know. There's rumors, we don't know if they're true or not, but that we might be playing a show soon in Pensacola, a safe one.
Yeah, not a real show, but like
it would be a safe one.
It would be one where there aren't really people there. I don't know technology that well, but like people watch.
Like everybody can come, but nobody can be there.
Yeah, I think
so.
desktop computers and or Apple products will take you to the show.
I think that's somebody everybody should look out for, but we obviously we don't know. I would just keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I mean, like they're just rumors. That's what our PR person does. So
Yeah.
I mean, we don't make plans.
Yeah,
Well,
Bill Gates.
Are we thinking early April is our plan?
I think early April is what was rumored. I heard it was it's not April Fool's Day, but it's like maybe the day after.
Well, double full, so 4-2, not 420, but 4-2.
Yeah, I would say to keep an eye on April 2nd. Everybody should be tuning in.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Man. Well, maybe we'll see a really sick flyer come out soon that gives a little more information about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to both of y'all. I mean, this has been so fun. I know it's kind of weird because usually when we're hanging out, it's like I'm not sitting here talking to you like this. Like I have never met you or anything like that. But I think this is fun. I love talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sour. Thank you, Aleyah and Sophia, for being here and doing this shit. Check out the new album. Do you want to come over? Man, that is some banger ass shit. The song Choke, Aleyah, super fire. Or not Choke, I'm sorry, Crash.
Crash. Oh.
Super fire.
I was like,
what you said you wrote? Crash?
Yeah, I wrote Crash.
Just like my car. Single monosyllabic words that start with C. But
It's my mom's favorite song.
It's so good. Crash. Oh God. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. We're going to wrap this up. This is going to be available on YouTube later on, or on Facebook or some shit like that. And we're going to spread it around. And April 2nd, we'll see if something rumored happens. But check out Sour on Facebook. Check them out on Instagram. Check them out on Bandcamp, Spotify, soundlink.com. No, I don't know if that's a website. On the Zunes, Zunes from back in the day, you can upload them on your Zune. On your
Rhapsody.
Y'all are on Tidal. Y'all got that Jay-Z money now. So hell yeah.
Oh, we have money? Wait. All right. Well, thank you for having us. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
Love talking about the band.
Absolutely. Well, I'll talk to you guys again soon. I hope you all have a safe rest of your night where you are. And please be safe and keep on rocking in the free world. I'll catch y'all later. Goodbye.
All right. Bye, Grover.
Goodbye. Be safe.
Bye.
You